Hi, welcome back to my kitchen. It has been so hot here lately, like 100 degrees for the last several days. And my family has all of the cold salad and sandwiches that they probably want to have for a while. So tonight for their dinner, I'm going to fix a tater tot casserole. Easy comfort food. It's preseason football, so we got to get in the mood for football. Hello. Anyways, I'm going to make a tater tot casserole, but I don't want to heat my whole kitchen up by running this oven, so I'm going to make it in the crock pot, and I want to show you how it's done. It's so easy and impressive, and when they're ready to eat, it's ready to be eaten. So let's do this. Okay, here's the ingredients you're going to need for this particular recipe, and you can change this up and customize it to your own taste. There is no specific way to make tater tot casserole, and if you search for recipes, you'll find thousands and thousands of variations. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a pound of extra lean ground beef, and I've got a 2-pound bag of tater tots and 2 cups of shredded cheese. I always buy the big bags of shredded cheese or the big blocks and shred it myself, and then I portion it out into 2-cup portions and freeze it, and that way I've got it on hand when I need it. You're going to need a 1/2 cup of milk, a small diced onion or half of a large onion diced. I'm going to use a can of whole kernel corn in mine. You can use whatever veggie. If you even want a veggie in there that you wish, you could use canned or frozen green beans, peas, carrots. My menfolk like corn, so I tend to grab that and put that in. And this will be in the crock pot long enough that you could even put a fresh green bean or corn or whatever in there, and it would cook up just fine. I'm going to use a can of mushroom soup, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, because that's so much fun to say. And then usually it's salt and pepper to taste, but I always use my own concoction here. It's not my own. This is generations of Southern and Midwest women have used this. It's 1 part pepper, 1 part garlic powder, and 2 parts salt. And I just keep a tub of that mixed up and use it on everything. So there you go. Paula Deen may claim fame for mentioning this stuff, but she didn't invent it. No, it's been around forever. So that's what I'm going to use instead of just regular salt and pepper. So, all right, let's get started. Okay, so here I have cooked off my pound of ground beef along with my onion, diced onion, and added my salt and pepper and garlic mixture there. I'm still going to add an extra little bit of garlic to it just to give it an extra kick. And so, cooked, drained in a bowl. Now, we're going to add the 1 can of whole kernel corn, which I drained. Again, use whatever veggie your family likes. You could even throw a can of Rotel in here if you liked a little extra kick to it. And sometimes I've been known to do that. So don't ever think you know me that well. Okay, a can of mushroom soup. But Grandma, using all that processed food is bad for you. Yeah, well, I know. And I don't always, but sometimes, dadgummit, I'm tired, I'm old, I'm crabby. Deal with it. All right, so I'm going to just add about a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder to it. Again, I like it. So just maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. Just, whatever your taste is. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Again, that's just so fun to say. This is a pretty quick, easy do. Again, it's comfort food. It's not whole food, it's comfort food. Okay, I'm probably blocking everything. God, let this turn out. All right, and then my 1/2 cup of milk. There you go. Also, we're going to put in about 1 cup of cheese. The rest of this cheese I'll put on it later, but we're going to add a little bit now. So about 1 cup of, or my 2 cup bag here. Stir well. Again, it just goes together really quick. It's warm. It's not a sandwich. It's a good, you can eat this from a bowl in front of the TV while the Seahawks are playing tonight. I'm so excited. Okay. Alrighty, now we're going to take our potatoes and go over to the, you guys didn't see any of that. I'm so sorry. But I'm new at this, okay? Cut me some slack. Okay, if you hear my air conditioner running, I apologize, but I'm not turning it off. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, I have my Crockpot here, which I have sprayed with non-stick cooking spray. Cleanup doesn't need to be a pain in the you-know-what. So, I'm going to start out by putting a few of my tater tots on the bottom. Just, this doesn't have to be pretty down in here because they're tater tots. It's a casserole. Alright, so start out with a few tater tots on the bottom just to mainly use up the bag, because I don't need a fourth of a bag of tater tots in my freezer taking up space. Alright, then I'm going to take my mixture and just dump it on top of those. And then even that out. And you could, again, customize this the way you like it. You could add hot sauce. You could put bacon in it. You could put jalapenos in it, chilies. You could put whatever. You could use sausage instead of hamburger if you wanted to, or ground turkey. There's no set way. There's no specific way to do tater tots other than you need meat and tater tots. That's about it. All right, so I've got that pretty much evened out in my crock pot now, and then I'm going to put the rest of my tater tots on top of it, and these I'll kind of be more careful about putting in, just mainly so that way I can get it all covered. So, when I was in school, grade school, way back when, in the cowboy days, this was actually something we would have tater tot casserole served in our lunchroom. The schools have come so far from them. From then, my little dude, he gets a salad bar. He gets fresh raw vegetables that he can choose from. In his grade school that he attended, they actually had a grant that allowed them to provide the kids every day with a fresh fruit or veggie snack. Provided by some of our local growers, and I thought that was amazing. But back when I was a kid, it was kind of a recession era. Goodness sakes, I can't talk. We were going through a recession at that time as a country. Things were kind of tight, and school budgets had to last all year long, and as they do now. And so we would get things that nowadays the kids would just turn their nose up and run for the hills. Dropped one, you whiny little thing. We'd have stew. We would have vegetable soup sometimes. We would get puddings and all kinds of unhealthy, not really pleasant to look at on a tray type foods. But we ate it, and it filled us up and warmed our bellies, and we didn't die. But don't get me wrong, I love that the schools are now going more nutrition than fillers, but I'm still going to have a few tater tots left. Oh well, c'est la vie. Alright, now this is ready to just cook. I could cook this on high for 2 or 3 hours, but I'm going to cook it on low. And it's 1 o'clock now, so by about 5, 6 o'clock, this will be nice and warm and hot and ready to go. Let me tell you this little secret here. Hang on, I got to wash my hands. Okay. All right, so when you cook things such as this in a crock pot, it tends to stay soggy because of the condensation from the heat. It's just science. You know, the steam, it creates collects on the lid, and then it drops back down as condensation, and so your tater tots are going to be mushy and icky. But there's a way you can prevent that from happening, and all you have to do is take a clean kitchen towel and lay it over the top of your crock pot, and then set your lid on top of that towel. It's not touching your food, so it's not going to stick to that, but it will collect that condensation and it will get the towel wet, but your tater tots won't turn into a mushy mess. So, all right, I'm going to let this just cook on low until we're ready to have dinner, and about 20 minutes before we're ready to eat, I'm going to come back in and I'll add that extra cup of cheese on top of my tater tots, and then just let it melt in there, and we'll just sit around watching football and having a good time. So I'll check back with you when it's time to add the cheese and dish it up. Okay, so we'll be ready to eat here in just a bit. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my cheese on, but let me tell you something about this towel. It is soaked. It has caught most of that condensation. I don't know if you guys can see it on this camera or not, but it is wet. Yeah, you can kind of see it. See how it just caught some of that condensation? So while these might not be quite as crispy as if you overdid it in the oven, they are not soggy either. So let me go ahead and put on the rest of my cheese. I can't open it. And I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top here. And let this, I'm going to just knock this down to warm. And cover this back up. I don't need the towel on it anymore, but I'm going to cover this up for about 15 more minutes on warm, and then we'll be ready to eat, or it's ready whenever we are. So that's it for right now then, about 15 minutes. Okay, little dude says he's ready to eat, so let's try this out, shall we? My cheese is all melted in there. Let's dish it up here and see what he thinks. And I mean, that is cheesy and tater totty. Again, there is no set way to fix this. Customize it as you wish. Add what you like, take away what you don't. And there you do. Have a good comfort meal. Football. Let's go.